This is like a local Salix willow variety, so not, not the weeping willow. And originally this was just this, and then this was just straight up, that whole thing. And so I wired it and put it around. You can see a few little scar marks. And I got this nice movement in it. And this is this year's growth. This is all new. And I thought, do I want to just keep it kind of sparse and small up here? And then it created kind of this huge gap here. So I thought, oh, maybe I can get this branch to sort of mimic the other one, and it'll eventually maybe lie down here. I'll trim it back and let it grow a bit. And so that's kind of the plan there for that tree. Just a really unique maple. You can see it's one of the cement pots is starting to crack. A bunch of them are cracking, obviously. It's a cold winters, and but yeah. Just kind of unique one. I just keep trying to compact it down. I almost want to kind of have it like a raft style, or kind of like this just canopy over here with a bunch of branches with this kind of as the core. So it's just kind of a strange it's a Norway maple, strange design. What do we got here? We got a little hemlock. This is a native. I've really it's hugely overgrown, and all the growth was just shooting out, so I needed to push it back. So it's actually quite sparse right now, and this one needs to be filled in, more like you think like a juniper, like just really compact pads, because you see this stuff back here. I can chop some of that, but still this transition is not very good, and so I need to kind of hide all that in there. And so I'm thinking next year I'll get a really more dense push of growth. It'll just be much more compact, and it's even trying to push a little second flush, which is unusual for a hemlock, but that's just because I trimmed it so much. Spruce. It's a bird's nest spruce. It's a huge bird's nest spruce. I got this from a garden center. He actually gave it to me for free. It was probably like this, and branches were coming out, and it was just empty in the middle. And I've actually bent it all around to try to make the apex sort of back into the tree. So it's got some work. Probably transplanted again, because what was happening is the roots were just rotting. And so, it's gone through a few repots already. So this is, I got this 4 years ago. But again, I just can't have those roots rotting in there. Little juniper, just dialed that up the other day. It's kind of looking nice. It's kind of got a bit of a dynamic feel. I mean, the apex is kind of going that way, but the trunk goes this way. And then this is kind of like a defining branch, although this could be considered the defining branch. So anyways, it's kind of a unique design. I like that one. Sub-alpine fir. Have it in a cement container, and this is just one of the nicer trees that I had first gotten. Just all these subtle move changes all the way through. But I've been scared to touch it. So next spring I have to do stuff. I'll just reduce it a bunch. It's just really overgrown. But yeah, and maybe a bit tall, right? Shimpaku juniper. Not letting it grow out. You can see it's just, again, this is just a time thing. I had some damage. The voles sort of ate some of the branches, and so this used to be out there, but you can see it's just starting to shoot out, and it needs some work. But yeah, this is a container I made with a broken pottery dish. So I just smashed it more and then put those inlaid, all that red in there, and made it so it's kind of a interesting container. This is a sub-alpine fir clump, sort of. This is actually the tree that I have on the thumbnail for one of my collecting videos, and so there it is. I haven't worked it, I haven't done anything with it, so it's just growing out. But I just loved the sort of all those trunks in there. Another sub-alpine fir. Just nice, thick, dense base. You can see it just had these tops, and these were dead when I acquired it. And that was part of it, right? Those had probably grown out and just gotten damaged, and so it just made this really thick, interesting base. And I know there's more sort of under here that I can get at, and to kind of reveal a little bit more of the base. And I think I get another sort of turn of direction, just this and then that, right? Little small literati, something like that maybe. Literati, it's a stretch, but I think this branch was alive at some point, and so yeah, it's just a little cutie. Spruce putting on some cones, which is super cool. Yeah. Anyways, that needs work. Another spruce. Yeah, it's got some interesting movement to it. I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with this, but it's ready for style next spring. You can see I had it actually in the ground somewhere, but then when I had to actually leave, we were going on vacation for 10 days, and so I had to pull it out of the earth, you know, rip it right out. So a lot of roots had grown through here. Just because I couldn't, as the person that was watering, I wanted to get all my trees together. So, but yeah, it's some future work.